Hey everyone, have a tune for you that I've loved for over 25 years. I learned it back in West Virginia from my friends Jimmy Triplett and John Gallagher and Scott Prouty. And it comes from Andrew Burnside. And there's a few names rolling around for this tune, but I always knew it as Coal Holler. So here it is, cross A. Good West Virginia tune. There you go, Coal Holler. Thank you, Carl.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And it's kind of an interesting tune. And this field recording is resurfaced recently as part of the Carrie Blesh collection. And I was glad to hear it. And Burnside plays the A part or B, who really knows which part is which, There's no real way to know. But he starts it on the and he plays it often 3 times through, and sometimes he plays it 2 times through. And I love tunes that have that 3-phrase pattern, so I'm going to stick with 3. But if you were playing it like one of those old octogenarians 25 years ago, you might be mixing it up each time through, So whichever way you want to do it is fine. I like the kind of galloping rhythm he gets with his bowing pattern, which often slurs, I think, on the up bow. Sort of doing this kind of thing. So we're in the key of A, and I'm going to start on an up bow with a pickup. I'll play you the whole phrase. Up, up, down, separate, slur, separate, down. And then up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up. Of course, you can variate this a lot. Down, slur, down, separate, slur, separate, down. And a third time. those Zen-like tunes for me that I've always loved playing. And it's often one that I would get people to play, even though I knew that almost nobody played it. But it's just kind of a captivating, simple tune. And I find it makes people gel in a jam session really quickly. And people always seem to really like it. So another thing, let's see. You can variate this quite a bit. So I used to hear it played. And I added some of those little variations to it. I like to grab the middle string sometimes. The bowing quite a bit. You can add, there's some really subtle grace notes you can hear Andrew Burnside throwing in sometimes. And most of the time they sound like it's very hard to hear on the field recording, but I think he's coming down from above. Almost a Scottish sounding ornament. And then 2-to-1. So, and they're very subtle, but I can hear them in there. And there's more on the other part, we'll call it, since we never really know which is the A or the B, nor does it really matter. I like to start and end this tune on this part. And I like adding those drone strings. And I think you can get a little accent, a little bit of a backbeat going with this tune. So there's all kinds of things you can do. It begs for variation. And one of my more radical variations might be to hit the low drone strings. So yeah, cat's meow there. You can do it all. And of course you play down the octave. Okay, here's your other part. And this is so captivating because it starts off modal, you know, with some G naturals. But there's this note that he gets that I think, even though he's very elderly, obviously, in the recording, and he's playing a little out of tune, there is a note that he really seems to hear between the cracks of the diatonic scale. And some would call these wild notes. I think Patrick Gaynor might have coined that term, actually, and he was the person that recorded Burnside. And or at least the tune was in his collection way back on reel-to-reels. I know that Jimmy listened to them. So I really like this. And it's a tonality that people have trouble hearing nowadays. Everybody wants to put the notes on the tones or semitones in the diatonic scale. But those older fiddlers, there are many of them, Wilson Douglas, for example, and Andrew Burnside for sure, I think are hitting these tones that are purposely between the cracks. So I'm going to leave it there because I think that's really beautiful. And it's basically quarter tones that we're playing here. If you do a true G sharp, seems a little high. If you do A lot of people play the G natural. Of course you could. So it's up to you, but I'm going to try and take a little of the essence of Burnside's tonality and keep that between those two notes, G natural and G sharp. Here's the whole B part. Back to the beginning of the tune. Okay, so you'll notice that we're missing a couple beats at the end of the phrase. There's a 2/4 bar at the end. One, two, back to the beginning. So that little, a 2/4 bar at the end of the phrase. Really beautiful though. Let's see. So the beginning, we got a grace note. This time we're going to come from below the main melody note, which is the G natural. And most of this is saw stroke. There's your wild note. Here, grace note from above. 3 to 2. Up, up, down, up, up. And this phrase only happens twice. Grace note. Back to the beginning. Wild note, grace, again, a little faster. Feel free to variate. Well, there we go. I ended on the high part that time, but I often like to end it on the lower part. Either are good, and you can see that I have a hard time stopping that tune once I start it. I just get locked into the meditative quality of that really old tune, and hope you enjoy that Coal Holler.